Okay, hi fourth graders. This is Mr. Steinberg. So today what I'd like to do is I'd like to kind of give you kind of a way to kind of look and see how this next math portfolio, how you can set it up, and then respond to all the questions on the document. So here's the document. Let me go back. Let me find the lesson for you. So you'll find this. If you look over here, you'll find Unit 6. The title is called Show and Interpret Data on Line Plots. Sorry. And then the portfolio occurs in lesson number 2. So what I did was I went to lesson number 2 right here. And then I went all the way to step number 8 down here. And then I found the portfolio right here. So I clicked on it. I opened it, I downloaded it, and then it looks like this. So it is fillable. If you want to use it as fillable, you can. If you don't, that's okay. You can print it out and write on here, or you can even just kind of copy things over onto lined paper if you want, or blank paper. That's fine. Either way you decide to do is fine. Not a problem. So let's take a look and see what the directions say, and then I'll kind of show you what I would do to kind of set things up. So let me go here. Let me look at the what it says here. Molly collected data from her friends. So this is the data right here. This is all of these people are her friends, and this is how long they slept. I guess overnight. They want us to use the information in the chart below to complete a line plot of data to determine the scale. So we have to determine the scale that we use. And I'll show you what that means. And a title for the line plot. So using the blank line plot below, write in the intervals, the title you chose, and place a dot on the line plot for each of Molly's friends' hours of sleep. Then you can answer the questions that follow it. So it shouldn't be too difficult, but let me see here. What's the best way? If I were to take their information here, I think I can grab it here. Let me grab it and put it on a whiteboard so we have it the whole time. I think you can see this pretty well. Let's paste that on there, and then let me go back to the document here. So here's the line plot itself. It's not the greatest, but it'll do. I think it'll do. Let me put it on the whiteboard here. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of expand it. I'll make it larger. I'll resize it. So let's go maybe half more. Maybe some more. Maybe just a little bit larger so we can see it. Another 50. Oh wait, sorry. Another 150. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, okay. So we can give it a title. You can title it anything you'd like to. I don't know if that's like terribly important, but it's fine. You could say, what do you want to call this? Molly's line plot, or any title you want is fine. It's okay. Let me grab that. Let me center that a little bit. Okay, and then let's see what's next. Okay, so we have to take all of these pieces of data here. We have to put them in the line plot, but luckily it looks like there's a lot of different numbers, but I think we'll see that some of them repeat. So what I like to do is I like to go through and find the lowest one first. So what's the smallest number here? I have 8.5. I have 6.5. That looks pretty small. Yeah, so that's where I'll start. I'll start with 6.5. So let me break out a different color. So this will be 6 1/2. And because some of the fractions, some of the mixed numbers have a fraction of 1/2, I think what we can do is we can kind of go in intervals of half. So we can start with 6.5, and then the next one would be 7. Then this one would be 7.5, and this one would be 8. This would be 8.5. This one would be 9. This would be 9.5. And this one would be 10. Okay, so we just every interval is worth half. So 6.5 to 7, 7 to 7.5, 8, sorry, 7.5 to 8, 8 to 8.5, 8.5 to 9, 9, 9.5, and then up to 10. So all we have to do from here now is just kind of go through and kind of cross out as we enter the data, or we enter the number of people on the line plot. So for example, how many people slept for 6.5 hours? So I have to go through. I'm going to mark with blue. I know Frankie here. That's 1. Anybody else sleep for 6.5? Nope. Looks like just 1. So I'm going to put a little X right there above 6.5. Probably can't see that very well. You know what I can do? I think I can select this and just get it out of the way. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. There we go. So 6.5, so just 1 person. Now, how many people slept 7 hours? Let's go look through here. How many people slept 7? Looks like nobody slept for 7. How about 7.5? So there's 1, there's Bob, there's Kim, that's 2. Come down here, and there's Chrissy, that's 3. So 3, so I'll put 3 X's right there. 1, 2, 3. So 3 people slept for 7 hours. Oh, no, they didn't. They slept for 7.5. And let's see, how many people slept for 8 hours? Let's go through and count. Anybody sleep for 8 hours? Heather, that's 1. Nope, just 1. Just Heather. Did anybody sleep for 8.5? Well, that looks like a lot of people did. There's Mike, Susan. Oh wait, I think I need a different color here so I don't get confused. Mike, Susan, Linda, that's 3. Pamela, that's 4. Drake, that's 5. Vincent, that's 6. Julian, that's 7. 7 people. So I have to put 7 markings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, just barely had room. So it looks like a lot of people slept for 8.5 hours. Now let's go through and let's plot the rest. Let's use brown. How many people slept for 9 hours? Elizabeth, Herbert. So 2 people slept for 9. And let's do, I guess, pink. Pink work. How many people slept for 9.5? Louis, Alexis, 2 people. And finally, I guess I'll go black. Yeah, that'll work. How many people slept for 10? So there's John, Gina, John again, and Liam. So 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what I would do. This is how I would set it up, right? I gave it a title. You can name it anything you want. And then I laid out the intervals. I started with the lowest number of hours of sleep. I noticed that we had some numbers that were mixed numbers with a fraction of 1/2. So we set up our intervals to be half. So every half would be a new number. So 6.5 to 7 to 7.5 to 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. So let's see, what else do they want us to do? Okay, so we did that. Now you just have to go through and kind of answer what's the most common amount of sleep. Okay, so if you look at here, you can see which one, which interval or which fraction had the most people, or which amount of sleep was the most common. So you can see, I think that's 8.5 right there. Is there an outlier? So you have to find out, are there any data that's like completely like much smaller or much greater than the rest of the numbers? Here you have to find the difference between the longest night and the shortest night. So the longest night of sleep was 10 hours and the shortest night of sleep was 6.5. So you have to subtract those. How many people slept longer than 8 hours? So you have to start with 8, right? They want to know how many people slept longer. So 8 is exactly, but longer would be 8.5, 9, 9.5, and 10. So you have to count all these people. And then now here's the hard part. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to kind of take your line plot. You're going to have to add some numbers to it, because what Molly did was she asked 5 more people the next day, and she added all of their data to the line plot. And then you have to answer these questions that follow. But what I'll do is I'll take the line plot right? So here are the people that she added to the line plot. So what do we have here? We have 7 is what? I don't have a color for 7 yet, but 3 people claim they slept for 7 hours. So let me find a new color. I guess I'll go gray. So there's so 1, 2, 3. So now I have 3 people that slept for 7 hours. I have one more person that slept for 8, and 8 is green. So there's Leon. So I had to add him there. And then finally, looks like we might have an outlier. LaDeja looks like she slept for 12. That's a long time, which is, sure, it's fantastic. So what we do is you'll go over to your number line here, and you just kind of add a couple more. So remember, you're going in increments of a half. So you go from 10, then you go, 10 and a half to 11, 11 and a half. And then finally you just put a 12 over here. And you'll have one person, and we'll do her in orange right there. So one person slept for 12 hours. So now that you've kind of rearranged or now you've added the new data to your number line, now you can go through and just answer the questions. How did the data change? How did the data change the line plot? Right? So remember, it looks like we added 3 people that slept for 7 hours, and then finally one person actually slept for 12. Is there an outlier? Well, if you look over here, I think there's one value over here that's probably way higher than the rest. So I would say that there is an outlier. And then it says how many total people slept less than 8. So what you have to do is you have to look at 8 hours. You can't count 8 because that's exactly 8, but then you have to find out who are the ones that slept for less than 8. So you have to go count all of these people over here. And I think that's it. If you have any questions on how to do this, or if you get stuck, just let me know. I know my work is kind of sloppy over here when I added the new data, but you don't have to keep it as messy as I did. Probably, the neater the better, which I imagine. Okay, well, just thanks for listening, and if you have any questions, just reach out, let me know. Hope this helps.